Everybody's saying that you're no good for me.
Hi, welcome to episode 20 of
Please stop.
the Rubbin Buffoons. Don't worry about it. My name's Dylan.
Why don't you be the bunning Buffoons? Like, at least mix the same letters. I'm Andrew, and welcome back.
I'm Steve.
Just Steve.
As a kid, I yearned.
Oh, God.
We should have never said
Oh, that's why we never moved to Virginia. Your little butt would have been lost in the mines.
I forgot about
Name
that.
a single kid in the world that yearned for the mines before.
There's a bunch of them until they realized what the mines were. It's like you used to love weed eating. Malachi would be like, I want to weed eat. And so, like, he'd weed eat like a champ. After a summer.
I'm good at weed eating. I don't even like. It's just like.
But after a summer of it, you were like, this is stupid. Nobody likes weed eating. I don't blame you.
I mean, like, if I get paid to do it, I don't care.
I don't blame him.
I feel like I got paid way too much to weed eat y'all's driveway. Like, way too much.
It was the snake hazard. That was
See,
the
and
medium
the
for
problem
the snake
was,
hazard.
I wasn't even worried about like snakes at the ground. That tree line is so low. I'm afraid there's gonna be something up there. So while I'm ducking down to get under the branches, I'm like looking up because that's where they'll be.
That's always been
or
my
under
fear
that
while I'm
shed.
looking down, and there's one right here.
Like when you're floating down the river and a daggum cottonmouth drops out of the tree into your boat.
I would die.
Everybody say.
Sad part is, you wind up like all three other people bail out instantly, and you're sitting there staring at the cottonmouth like, I'm not getting wet, but I will beat you to death with a boat paddle. Or I will scoop you up and throw you in the water with the idiots that just jumped out. Like, you want a lighter?
Yeah, it smells bad in here.
You smell bad in here.
Or if I have my Glock
This
just
doesn't smell it.
right into the boat.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Just put good 5 shots in the boat real fast.
My boats always have holes in them anyways.
Hey, that's fine.
Like,
'Cause
I had a
'cause
boat
the- if I'm going down, the snake's going down too, and I'm all right.
that we used epoxy. We used everything to fix that stupid thing, and finally put
Snakes
duct
can
tape on it.
swim.
Don't tell them that.
And as soon as we put duct tape on it, it never leaked again. No, not just duct tape. You gotta
tape gives you.
you gotta
wings,
put
right?
duct tape on it, and you gotta heat it with a heat gun and like press it in with a spoon and like layer it up.
That's because
But
duct
don't
tape
forget the
gives you
monster.
wings.
Always put a white monster on it. It'll always work. I promise. Trust.
You want me to just walk up to a boat with a hole and just put a white monster on it?
Yep.
The energy drink or like a criminal?
Both be preferable.
Both.
Yeah.
What's your job? You don't have to sit in jail, but you got to bail this boat out all day, bro.
Yeah, like his job is to just swim under the boat.
What?
A
Hold a
white
finger in the hole.
A white monster. Not like just a white, like a shredded dude. Yeah, just like sits under the boat like
Would a
this,
Yeti count?
No,
kicking his
No, 'cause,
legs
like,
at the freaking 30.
I don't. Are
40-foot
Yetis?
deep
Are they
lake.
Snow White, like the abominable snowman? But
Yeah.
like sometimes a
Yeah,
Yeti is
like
like
an abominable snowman.
pictured as a
Yeti.
Sasquatch.
Like a white one. Like snow.
Okay.
I mean, that might work. But is he really a
From
monster?
I
What?
don't know.
From Case
Like you
File
hear
or
a bunch of
whatever?
Bigfoot and Yeti
I don't know
stories,
where
and like
Tesco
all they
got
do
it.
is throw
Sugar
rocks
is
and
it?
jump.
Sometimes they sound pretty
This is
scary.
from.
Well, I mean, it's
don't
a
know, just
giant.
for
Like
now.
if I'm in the woods naked screaming,
if it's
I'm
running
scared.
after me,
'Cause I
I'm
don't
gonna
wanna just
consider
walk
it a
around with no
monster.
case.
Probably.
Mhm.
It's
And I
because you're
already got a
gorgeous.
screen protector.
I like Magna. I'm not gonna lie. My Magna's
I
kinda
don't
cool.
see how that's relevant.
And I could get one of those now.
I mean,
Good.
you know, Yetis like human
If
women.
it's sick, would you drive my bikes?
They're Nephilim, in my opinion.
And it's
Yeah,
a
but they don't look
monster
as
to
cool.
me.
Yeah,
Even
remember
if
that
it's
one in
not a
Tullahoma?
monster to you.
What?
That Sasquatch raped that woman
Yeah.
in Tullahoma. I'm
That's the
telling
one
you,
that I'm getting. Sato Gojo.
it was front page news.
Whenever after it hits him, like whenever he gets
I
attacked.
feel sorry
by
for the
Toji
people
and
listening
he's
to this
floating.
episode. They're like, which
Oh, yeah,
conversation do we
yeah.
listen to?
About
Yeah, it's confusing.
I think y'all should do a customization for me so I can get a better iPhone. thing. No,
iPhone. Why
not iPhone. What is this called? A
No,
phone.
he's getting
Ew.
an iPhone.
I do want to look at one. But hang on to the Yeti stuff real quick. Have y'all seen that stupid AI crap? It's funny but stupid.
What?
It's AI. No, it's Bigfoot vlogs, Yeti vlogs, alien vlogs.
Are you talking about that stupid video you sent me?
Maybe. Hang on. On what? Instagram?
Hang on, you're gonna have to look this up and just show me a screenshot.
Stop.
This. Are you talking about this?
Oh, your iPhone's sucking it up over there.
So is mine.
Yeah, it's
It
it's
could be
just your
Mint
shop.
Mobile. I mean,
Yeah, that's
That stupid crap. What even was that?
it's like freaking
It's stupid.
It's stupid, but I find it so freaking funny also at the exact same time. I will sit there and watch it too.
I thought, what in the
Because
frick is this
because
guy
there's one where like I think one of the humans left out this energy drink and he drinks it. He goes, "Guys, I'm crashing out." And he sweats. It's so stupid.
what confuses me though
Oh,
is the AI like crap. Like it's an extremely useful tool, but like
We
it
overuse it.
it is permeating everything. Now there was one website I seen earlier in a video to where it was a coloring book page, and you could type in the prompt of whatever you wanted, and it would make that coloring book page. And dude was like, "I want Batman playing volleyball on the beach and like wherever."
That's something
like-
I want to do. I want to play volleyball. I love volleyball.
Why did you
It's
get
so
those
fun.
glasses?
We have a volleyball net.
Why do I look over? He's wearing glasses all of a sudden.
No.
You know, there's only two types of people wear glasses inside, right?
A stone.
Blind people and douchebags.
Oh, I was thinking of stone.
For all my Supernatural fans, you'll get that reference.
Oh
but
no,
you
Phil
guys won't.
Robertson. He wore glasses.
Bob Dylan and Bob
Was
Dylan
he blind?
was a douchebag.
No, but he was cool.
Bob Dylan was a douchebag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob Dylan was a
I could see that one.
No, what were we talking about? No, I just want to I want to actually learn how to play volleyball.
It's you.
Why?
I don't know. I just think it's really fun.
Hmm.
Like it's an actual entertaining sport to me.
So
you
it's
don't
tennis.
no, tennis is too difficult.
To watch or to
This is
play.
stupid.
I don't like tennis. I like to.
Like I can see why beach volleyball has become such a popular
No,
sport.
yeah.
But
I like-
I don't think that's because of the sport. I think that's because of the visuals. Like if Tasia was to put on one of them beach volleyball outfits and be like, "You want to come play volleyball?" I mean, like I'm not going to be looking at the ball, but like sure.
No, I want to play like gym court volleyball.
Oh, with the hard surface.
Yeah,
Oh, you want like broken elbows and junk.
yeah. I've
Some
never
of them-
broken a bone.
Like the guys volleyball and stuff is one thing, but like any girls sport that like girls get serious about, them gals is mean. You watch them play volleyball, they like staring each other down, spiking across the net, screaming at each other. Yeah, they get serious, man.
I watch sports.
Same with like you watch jiu-jitsu. You watch
Well, like,
the
when you
black belt
watch-
men versus the black belt women. The women are freaking evil, man. They'll
When you watch
do anything.
like the Olympics, I watch some of them. They're pretty.
I think I watched a few Olympics in my life, but
Well, no, it's not even like watching the whole thing. Just like picking out a sport, because on Peacock, you could pick out the different sports and stuff. But it was fun to watch. The tennis is like,
You don't realize how fast them fools are going. Like until you get on a tennis court yourself, and like when Hideto served to us like full speed, it was like, how am I
All you
supposed to
hear
hit
is-
that, man?
and it just like bounces
gotta
by
walk
you.
in,
Yeah,
bro.
it's like insane.
And
You
it's
gotta
but
do
it's
that.
so
Problem is-
stupid hard.
teleport. Bang.
But the problem is it's gotta come at you like that from half, probably gonna be, and you have to hit it back over the net just enough to bounce down.
I always
Yeah.
sucked at it.
And you got to counter your momentum because like the tennis balls we was playing with this morning are like worn out. The dogs have chewed on a bunch, so they don't bounce as good. But like you get a good tennis ball, and they serve it that fast, you don't even really have to hit it. You can just freaking hold your racket. If you got your racket wrong, that sun goes out of the court. Like it's just gone.
Yeah. Like I don't know, some of them people flick it. They flick their wrist down and then up, or like
Yeah,
up.
kind of like swing it and yeah.
Kinda like
But like Hideto would be like every
Did he
time
get more
Malachi
time?
would launch that ball 200 yards, he'd be like, "Not baseball."
yeah,
Gentleman sport.
He would hit that thing at me, and I just like whack it.
Malachi, it was not baseball, by the way.
There's no other way to play it. I also wouldn't mind getting better at basketball,
I enjoy.
but like
Suck at
only
basketball too much.
only like basketball like in my yard, or like going to like a basketball gym every now and then, but never like play it.
Yeah, playing basketball doesn't appeal to me. I never enjoyed it. But
Well,
like
like-
games of horse and just
I like
shooting
horse
nets
and
and
all
stuff,
that.
I enjoy that. I tried to get them to play supercalifragilisticexpialidocious the other day, but they wouldn't.
You lost me on that. Nope, never played it.
It's like, how long you guys been playing this game?
Yeah.
4 weeks.
You'd be there
It's
for a good
horse
minute.
with supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
I think I would try to get those letters just to get out of the game.
Well, it's okay. We played 12 games, and my uncle won all of them.
Heck
Yeah. Every stinking one of them. I got close. I got him to PI one time.
It's like Malachi when we were playing playing horse at my house.
Yeah, but we were neck and neck most games.
Yeah, but no, there's this
We
one
kept
where
ma-
he just walked, did this, looked like it wasn't gonna get in. It got in, and I
Oh,
was
yeah.
like,
That's
yeah,
usually how it
whatever,
goes.
Screw it. I'm not gonna get that. So I'll take the letter.
That's usually how it goes. I like the video of the school principal. He's standing there and he's got like the whole school in the gym with him. And he's like, all right, guys, if I make this shot, no homework for the rest of the year. And he's all the way across the court. So you're thinking these kids are going to be so sad. Fool just gym erupts. But then like you see some of the teachers looking like, I didn't agree to this agreement. Like, I do homework. In my opinion, like my kids were all homeschooled, right? But in my opinion, you send your kids to school for 7 hours a day, 7.5 hours a day, most schools. If you can't teach my kid what he needs to know in 7 hours, or she needs to know in 7 hours, and you got to send homework home for me to do your job also.
Most schools don't send homework home anymore.
Most schools don't even make kids learn anymore, and they're allowed to just be idiots. You
Well,
write
this
your
is-
daggum name on
hey,
the paper, and they're not allowed to pass you.
BS. When I went to school, I had homework, a crap ton of it. What the freak is happening?
I didn't do any of my homework, so I failed 4th through 8th grade. But like
My grandmother made me.
my family tried. I had a decent family. I was just a turd, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
Fair enough. I was dumb. So it's okay.
and honestly, if you know it, why repeat it?
So you can, so they can know you
Prove
know.
you know it.
Yes, but I could prove I know it.
That's why
Like,
you actually passed
I-
4th through 8th grade.
I passed 1 6 weeks. No, it was 2 6 weeks of class because I broke all these growth plates, this bone and this bone. Basically, like I was in a cast, but like I made them make it removable because I would have cut it off. I wasn't going to be in like a solid one. But they told me like if it didn't heal right, my hand would not grow anymore. So they were like, it has to heal right. So for that 2 6 weeks, I got to do all my tests and everything orally. You know, they would just ask me the question, I'd tell them the answer, and I didn't have any homework. And I made straight hundreds. And my teachers were pissed. They're like, if you know all this, why aren't you? I'm like, if I know it, why do you want me to sit here for 4 hours and show you that I know it? Come ask me a question, I'll give you an answer. In 9th grade, my algebra teacher, Miss Lamb, love Miss Lamb. Meaner than heck sometimes, but she needed to be. But like she come up to me and accused me of cheating, and I was like, give me how many ever problems you want right now. I will do them in front of you. And she's like, seriously? I said, yes, ma'am. I said, I am not cheating, but like if I write my stuff down, I don't get the right answer. Like I've got a blackboard up here, and you've got the problem, you got a bunch of scribbles, and you got the answer. If I put it on paper, I'm out. Like I get confused. And she was like, okay, give it a shot. So she pulled up 25 problems. I did them in front of her, and she left me alone.
I say no more homework talk. Boring.
Well, that's because you never had homework. All your work was home.
Exactly.
Homework sucks.
How'd we go from sports to home?
And I was like, you want to do some algebra or you want to crank some wrenches? And my boy was like, neither. But I guess we'll go crank wrenches because I'd rather do that than algebra.
I don't blame him. Algebra's so stupid.
Oh, quick shout out to, I don't know if he'll listen to this episode or not, but Josh from camp. He's been listening, been enjoying us.
Oh yeah, my other friend.
Hi, Josh.
He loves our tactical weed pen idea.
Which one's that?
Weston.
Weston?
We should make this tactical.
The tactical weed pen. My question, though, is it discreet and that's how it's tactical? Or is it tactical because the second you hit it, you're high?
Why not all of the above?
Like it's a stealth high. Like it looks like your hand.
I
It's a
want
fake
the
hand.
Assassin's Creed.
Like, yeah, but it's got to be like a full on big old vape that comes
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
It
yeah.
can't be one of the
But-
little pins. It's
but-
got to be like a.
It's like the old style. You have to get rid of your middle finger. Or was it your ring? I can't remember.
Why the heck you be chopping fingers
Yeah,
off?
'cause
We
it-
ain't no Japanese
That's
yakuza.
what Assassin's Creed did.
Guy tried to bite it. Man,
I already talked about.
I know, but I still can't imagine trying to bite off your own finger. Like I could probably do it if I really had to, but like at the same point, why would you do that willingly?
Why don't you just add to your story?
Oh, that was that was like 30
Are you
minutes ago.
Instagramming while we podcast?
That was like 30 minutes.
Y'all
ago.
need to be doing some Instagramming. Y'all should post like some selfies or something
No,
of other people.
I could do
Do-
that.
okay, y'all start doing Instagram posts, but have none of us on it. Take pictures of random crap and other people,
I could do this.
Dylan's got that.
but put it on the
got it.
Cunning Buffoons.
I'm
okay,
gonna take
yeah.
Reddit pictures.
I was
of
I mean, like,
coworkers,
mine-
strangers.
No, don't
My
do
Instagram,
y'all's.
yeah, I
Dude,
was
like
like,
y'all
my
start
Instagram
posting on the
has-
Cunning Buffoons.
My Instagram has pictures of me in 4-H, and that's about it.
Mine's got.
Except for I've been doing
A
really bad at
bonfire.
actually taking photos.
Well,
Like,
now
it's
that
so
now
hard
that
to-
you got that fancy new iPhone, you need to be snapping them shots.
absolutely not. That's not my job.
What
You
was
go around going, "Hey, sisters," and you know.
What was that
taking
movie we watched
pictures,
today?
Hey, a real gay ain't a gay without a knife on. You seen that video?
I have.
Did he just say a real gay ain't a gay without a knife?
iPhone.
An iPhone? Oh,
That's
well,
why I got one.
I mean, he ain't got a girl yet. He is 16, and there ain't no grandbabies on the way, so he's slacking.
Dang, Malachi.
What most people don't realize is they all they're taboo about stuff like that with their children, and they don't talk to them, and they're all like, "You don't need a man, you don't need a girl," blah 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 blah. I've been the exact opposite. I'm like, find you somebody to love and love them the rest of your life, and my kids are like,
No thanks.
"Why would I want to do that? Oh God, what do I do?"
Why? I've never even dated. What are you talking about?
There ain't nothing wrong with that.
You just proved his point.
What did he say?
First
What did he
girlfriend.
say?
You see, and that's
No,
the,
you said
find somebody worth
and you
loving.
said all my kids are like, oh no, why would I do that? Huh? If I've never dated, how would I never do that?
It's not that hard. You look over and you're like, "Dang, that's mine." Bam, problem solved.
Not.
And the problem is when you do that though, you don't know what their personality's like. So it's like playing Russian roulette. There'll be
Well-
parts that are awesome, and there's parts that are terrible. And that's
But without the death.
why
Huh?
marriage ends in death.
I mean, you know. what I mean.
Everything ends in death.
Not everything.
Everything.
Life truly begins at death. To be absent from the body is to be present with Christ. Unless you don't have a relationship with Christ, and then to be absent with the body is to be present with Christ for a few seconds and then burn in hell. But that's not his choice, it's yours. I guess that would make everything
So,
end in death. If
basically-
you are not in a relationship with Christ and know him as your personal Savior, yes, everything ends in death.
So basically,
Are you channeling your inner Bob Dylan?
That's what I'm thinking.
Say some wild crap right now that nobody understands. Like, man, I was writing a song about a duck sitting on an
darkness
egg.
at the break of moon, shadows even the silver spoon.
If you get just a little bit more of a twang to your voice, you'd have it down.
I can kind of sing like him, but all you got to do is how does it feel?
Billy
you go.
Corgan. It was that
wasn't it.
was that Smashing Pumpkins singer Billy
Yeah.
Corgan? Yeah.
Despite all my rage,
Please
I am
stop.
still just a rat in a cage.
You have to scream cage.
Oh, we're gonna get copyrighted eventually.
Oh, 100%. Surprised we already are.
You have
What?
to get views to be copyrighted.
Oh,
We
no,
have quite a bit of views on our newer episodes.
it's supposed to check it itself. The little AI is supposed to check for copyrights. I uploaded it and it's like AI, and then at one point, one of the the podcast website was like, "Does this have explicit content?" And I just seen that the other day, and I got to thinking about it. I'm like, could some of what we talk about be considered explicit? I probably should click
Explicit.
that. Explicit.
Yeah, a few things you talked
Yeah,
about are
I would-
pretty.
I would-
Me talking about it.
You.
You the guys over there being gay with knives.
What?
Huh?
What?
He said a gay and a gay without a knife.
iPhone.
No. He
iPhone.
said
Oh yeah.
without a
I don't know why I'm hung up on knives. I'm sad because I lost my knife 6 months ago and I still ain't bought a new one because I ain't made it up
Hey.
to Smoky Mountain Knife Works.
Isn't that mine?
You can have Malachi.
I can have mallet guys. Okay. Yeah. That's. I'll take that one.
I mean, I got.
Merry Christmas.
Hang on.
How do you know your friend's a pyromaniac? It's not that they're stealing your crap
have
because
this
that's not
one.
what a pyromaniac is.
And I have
Are you just pulling knives out now?
this one.
That's a nice knife. The only thing I hate about the little case pocket knives is they're handy to have.
Hang on. Good.
But-
hey, don't pause. You're robbing me.
Well, I'm not even talking about for self-defense. I'm just talking about if you need to get it out to cut some twine
It's
or anything.
just not efficient.
Yeah, you got to get it out and open it
Yeah,
up.
like, One hand.
Or I like a fixed blade myself.
Angel was telling me how she can't close these with one hand. And she
Really
likes her
easy.
one that has the button on the back.
I don't like
Because that's
those.
easier to close the one with one hand.
Yeah.
Your sister has many
What?
times.
I can do it, but I don't
Well,
like
that's
I don't
not.
like
This is so much easier.
it. Yeah.
She was like, no, because when you do it like this, you can just push the button and fling it.
Well,
I
see,
was
the
like-
thing is, you can do it like that, or you can just, press it, put it up against your pants and close
I
it.
just use my finger.
I usually just put it up my pants because this other hand's usually occupied holding
Wait.
something.
Well,
Doing what?
I use this finger.
What's it holding, Dylan?
Wire.
Watermelons.
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know why I'm cutting a.
Don't know why you're always walking around with a watermelon all the time, but
Not very efficient.
Well, I don't know why I'm cutting a watermelon with a.
Dylan, you've gotten jacked.
Pocket-
I always told an 8-pound watermelon. It would actually, like, if you held a watermelon like 8 pounds like this all day, every day, in both hands, just walked around, you'd be a beast. After about a month, people would look at you and go, "What have you been doing?"
They wouldn't.
You've been
ask-
watching me do it.
What,
No, people would still ask. People are retarded.
what have you been doing? Holding 2 watermelons. Oh,
Absolutely nothing.
I'm
That's what I would
hitting the
say.
gym.
That's what I would- no,
The
that's-
number one
yeah,
question
yeah,
you would
that's
get
it.
would be, "Can I have a piece?"
No.
That's rude. Be like them kids with that watermelon last year. They done a game where they had to like pick up a watermelon and like move it to a certain area. But I was in charge of the game, and you were supposed to like Vaseline the watermelon. And they were like, "Don't make it too difficult." And I was like, I had
Where
like, you
was
could barely
this?
touch that thing. It was at
Junior camp.
junior camp.
I do not remember this.
You were not over there. You were at a different game.
Oh, what was I doing?
He doesn't remember what
It was
you
during
were
where they
doing.
had the games, and it was like the scavenger hunt. They had to all get the certain things and then go to find the key or whatever.
I think I was doing the word. No, I had a group. That's what it was.
You were doing, yeah, you were taking them around,
I had a group.
and you come by mine, but the watermelon had been busted. The group before that dropped it, and it busted. But like I put like a 1/4 inch of Vaseline on this thing. Like I could barely pick it up just to sit it on where it needed to be sat.
Well, you just gotta have so much grip strength when you grip that watermelon, your fingers dent into the skin and just walk.
And then when it busted, it was like you've had chickens, like y'all got chickens. You know when you throw the feed down, it's just this swarm. Like as soon as that watermelon busted, there was just freaking kids coming out of everywhere, like like it's gone. And the woman helping me run the game was one of the camp staff. She was like, "I didn't think they would eat it. Much less, I didn't think they would eat it that fast." She's like, "They moved in and walked away, like done."
I would have ate it.
the
I like
camp staff
watermelon.
is
The
crazy.
watermelon is terrible.
It's
Fruit is
delicious.
bad for you. All this crap, doctors,
Fruit is bad for you.
It
all
is.
this stuff that doctors
Except for
are like,
apples are so good.
they
Apples
are
aren't
good. They do. They're supposed to clean your teeth,
They do.
but I find that just chewing on dirt makes that happen sooner.
No.
What? Oh, build your immune system.
Apples do clean your teeth. Like
You know
when-
what else
at-
cleans
at
your teeth?
1 year at 4-H
Fluoride and chemicals.
at SRTLC, right? Y'all bought me this whole new thing of toothpaste, and I forgot my toothbrush. And so they would give apples for breakfast, and I would always take like 3, and I'd just eat them throughout the day to
You
brush
know
my
what you
teeth.
should have done?
And I like
Put the
Bit into it.
toothpaste
I put
on
some-
your apple.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
AIM
just bite
toothpaste.
into it.
AIM toothpaste on an apple sounds atrocious.
Ugh.
AIM
Ew.
toothpaste is gross in general. It tastes like
Well,
syrup.
like they have to make toothpaste gross, or kids would swallow it.
Yeah, but no, it's not that it's gross.
Kids'
You can taste
toothpaste-
the artificial.
You can taste the tooth. Not gross. You
Kids'
can taste
toothpaste
it.
actually tastes pretty good
Yeah.
sometimes, and that's the problem. You see a whole bunch of retarded kids running around because they've been sucking fluoride down their whole lives. And you train them to suck their toothpaste down because you give them little squeezies as a baby, and then you give them flavored toothpaste. Why in the heck would you
Squeezies
want to do
are
that?
relatively new.
They've
compared
been
to
around for a
babies.
while.
I don't know. what a
Compared to
squeezy is.
babies,
Oh.
of course,
Yeah,
squeezies are relative.
exactly.
In all of human history, when babies were first made and Adam and Eve were sat in a garden somewhere between 7 and 40,000 years ago, I don't know, I think half of human history's been erased. But according to my wife, on the grand timeline of the universe, squeezies are relatively new compared to humans.
Despite all my
Yeah, you're now,
Kind of.
since you back in time,
Be kind.
rewind. Do you know what that means, Dylan?
Nope.
That's just, it's so weird to me. Because I think the reason it is so weird to our generation, because like if you go above my generation, right? Like your grandparents, they seen a long advance of like technology. But the problem is for many, many years, it was along the same lines. It was telegraphs, it was telephones, everything was wired. And then what, mid 80s? You started seeing personal computers and you started seeing cell phones, like the car phones originally and stuff like that. And it went from firing up your computer and the only thing it could do was like basically database, the old database structures, MS-DOS. And then like, what, 25 years or less, we go from that to everybody has that in their hand around the world darn near. And like that is, I think, why it's so odd for our generation, because every time we got used to something, right? I grew up, first things I had, they had 8 tracks. Then we had cassette tapes, right? And then CDs became big. And then them
Can we
stupid
make
little...
tactical heroin too?
No, it's already tactical.
I don't remember like 8 tracks very much.
See, now we have Spotify. You can listen to whatever you want.
Spotify
Well,
goes crazy.
that's what I was telling the kids. Like they don't like when they were just kids, and like my oldest is 22 and Malachi's 16.
I'm not your youngest. No.
Yeah, but I'm saying like that's how old you are in reference.
Yeah, I don't think I remember Spotify.
But like when he was 4 or 5 years old, our old iMac, I had so much music on it that you could hit play, and then it wouldn't play the same song again for almost a month.
What even happened to that thing? I feel like we just put it up. I don't even remember it breaking.
I actually turned it into a Raspberry Pi gaming machine for a while, and then it just becomes so old.
Well,
and
like the
obsolete
living
that
room
nothing would
used to
run on
be
it.
so big. Like when I was a kid.
That's because it didn't have a giant
No,
staircase
hang
in
on.
it.
No, when I was a kid, like the living room had okay, you had the desk right beside your door, and you had
And it
the
was that
computer.
stainless steel desk. Yep.
It's in your room. All right, then you had a recliner here, like beside the front door.
Yeah.
You had one over there. I don't remember. No, because the TV was on this wall.
The TV was on the same wall as the desk.
Yeah,
And it was hooked to the Mac.
and then there was a couch here,
For a
right
little
beside
while.
y'all's door.
Yep.
But that one wasn't there. I don't know. It kind of like varied for a couch being there, and that's all I remember. I remember your recliner and that couch.
That's pretty much all there was.
I remember us always being on the floor.
You guys were running around. Yeah, y'all love the floor.
We were always on the floor. I
Note to
remember-
parents:
There was
kids
a
don't
love
need
seat
chairs.
on the other side of the room.
No.
Was there?
Uh-huh.
I remember the one your aunt gave us.
Yeah, but you were always like
But I don't
screaming and running around in the living
That
room.
wasn't before. That was after we took that desk out and stuff. When did we move the TV to this wall? How long ago was that? 5 years ago?
Did we move it when we built the staircase? Because
Yeah.
I'm thinking we did.
Because it would have been stupid to leave it where it was.
Yeah, I'm thinking we did. And like, I wouldn't mind having it on the wall that the staircase wall. I think that would allow us to flip the living room around and make a lot more room because we could have a couch and stuff on that other wall and still see.
But it wouldn't.
But I really don't want to drill into that freaking cool pallet wall. You know,
Well, there's no outlet over there.
I'd fix.
we'd
There's
have to-
an outlet inside the
We'd have to
pallet
put
wall.
one there.
I would
or
drill a hole and
holes,
just
yeah.
snake the wires through. But like, it wouldn't be that
Make
big
the
of a
living
deal.
room look a lot more clean.
I think it would, but I don't know about drilling in a pallet wall. I may, you know what? We may have Adam cut us like a plate that we can powder coat, and then that way we could put the plate on there and just attach it to the plate. But that way, once we detach it, the plate could stay, and we could put something cool on it, like "Oops, the TV got stolen." You know, that way, if you're seeing that, you know your TV's gone. It's like if you wake up and you're camping and you see the beautiful stars above your head, your tent got stolen.
Or you never had a tent to begin
Or you
with.
never had a tent, or your whole life's been a dream. Me and my buddy at work used to talk about that. It's like if you just like took a nap and you woke up and you were in the middle of a field, just chilling, and you like there's nobody around, and then you realize that this entire life was just some fever dream on an afternoon taking a nap in the field.
Sure,
Think about it.
I did.
Burp.
Now, that's the reaction I had. It'd be kind of trippy, but it'd be like, okay, let's go on about. He come up to me one time. He's like, "What if you had never seen a tree before? You'd seen a tree for the first time." It's like, what's up, bro?
I think he
Love
hit
his dude
that
to death.
tactical heroin.
He's like a brother to me. He invented the tactical weed pen.
So, like, what if you couldn't tell the difference between a human and a goat?
Huh?
Quotes from Kiri.
Yeah,
That's what she said.
What if you couldn't tell a human from a goat?
Yeah.
Like, what?
What if
Well-
people couldn't tell the difference between people and goats? I think was
Like,
that.
where does that even come from? Like, that's
Or was it-
that's a Bob Dylan thought.
Was it
right
the
there.
dog that threw up one time?
I don't even see the
Yeah,
resemblance.
dog throws up one time, and she walks up and looks at it and is like, so that's what dog throw up looks like. And it's delivered as you sit around and you've pondered. I wonder what the contents of a dog's stomach looks like when it expels it upon the floor. Because you got to speak like fancy when you're having weird thoughts.
I don't know.
Because if you don't, you just sound stupid.
She hasn't had any, like, oh, the other day she, like, dead serious looked at me and was like, why does the fridge look so cold right now? And I was like, do you need me to explain to you what it does? Like, why does it look cold?
No, she didn't.
See, that makes me think. I seen a.
I refuse.
She was
to
like, I
believe
mean,
that.
like, why does it look colder? And I'm like, Kiri, it freezes. It gets cold. It refrigerates.
But then every
Yeah,
now
but
and then,
why?
that child comes up and will deliver a one-liner Like, I can't think of any right now, but there'll be a bunch of, like, we're all just picking at each other or whatever, and she'll just walk in and just nonchalantly drop something. And it'd either be extremely hurtful, like, dang, or profound. But that makes me think, I've seen a video, like, everybody has that one friend. Like, I can think of several friends in my groups. Y'all can probably instantly think of somebody when I tell you this. That, for all intents and purposes, for most of their existence, is a complete idiot. Especially, like, when you need to be, like, smart and intelligent, you're not. But then when nobody needs you to be a profound genius, you walk up and you're like, blah, 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 and everybody's looking at you like, do what?
Hey, Dylan, where
That's
do the rotors go on a car?
On the tires.
Where does that nifty thing sit? If
I
you
don't
forget
know.
to put the rotor on.
I don't know.
Okay. I got one better for you. All right. Got a buddy of mine that I worked with for about 10 years. His wife has a doctorate from the Swanee College of Law, business law, right? Smart. They're driving down the road, and she looks over, and the pond's froze over. And she's like, oh, that's sad. Like, it's too cold on the ducks. And he's like, excuse me? She's like, yeah, the ducks. They disappear because they hibernate under the ice in the winter. And he's like, stop. Back up. Explain. But yeah, her full-on belief was that, like, the ducks didn't fly north. That was stupid. The ducks would go under the water and hibernate. And
I
so,
think I've
like,
known migration since like 3.
it's all what you're exposed to.
You know, it's a scheme, a giant scheme, the water cycle.
The water cycle.
It's a giant scheme.
It's really just angels pissing. But I mean, like,
It's a giant scheme, the water cycle.
All right, Bob Dylan.
yeah, he's like, the government made it up, man.
And the government made up the water cycle.
If you read the Bible, it didn't rain before the flood, man. So, like, when the government showed up and Nimrod with his government stuff, like, they made the rain, man.
I don't have a cigarette, so I can't fully Bob Dylan it.
You can't do it with a cigarette, though.
He always had.
Like, our cigarettes nowadays are not what they had back then. I doubt that was a cigarette. The crap that come out of that man's mouth, that was one of Snoop Dogg's
Well,
cigarettes.
see, this is the thing. He even talks about it. The last interview he sings the shadows, even the silver spoon, to know you know too soon or something like that. And he's like, sit down and write that. He's like, I lost that magic. He said, sit down and write something like that. You can't. He's like, you lose that magic over time. He's like, I can't do it anymore.
I think it's not really you lose the magic. I think it's you lose that moment. Because like there's points in history that, like, we've talked about it before, like musicians and stuff. Like, it's not their talent. It was the stage of the audience, the social conditioning, you know, like what was going on in society. It was exposure. It was the media picking you up. It was you being played on the radio. Like, it was more of a right place, right time. Like, there was talent involved.
Well,
I'm
when
not gonna,
Bob Dylan got famous, it was really them trying to keep folk alive.
Yeah. But then, like, you go back, me and Tasha's talked about this many times. You used to be ugly and famous.
Yeah.
And then there was a period of
It
time.
was a testament to your talent.
Yeah, but then there was a period of time to where you couldn't be ugly and famous. But then YouTube and the internet, mainly YouTube, and all the social media and stuff has made it now to where your talent can make you go a lot further than, because, like, there's some people that, like, some of the artists and stuff now that if you look at, be like early 2000s, you'd have never seen them famous. They would have not have been able to make it because their exposure would not have been there. But with YouTube, you know, like, you get one guy that likes it, and because he likes it, all his followers get to see it, you know, and it just, you know, exponentially, but it bypasses the traditional label crap or whatever.
Yeah.
So, what's your most profound knowledge you've ever gained from an elderly person?
An elderly person?
An elderly person.
Okay, what's elderly?
You
Like,
tell
okay,
us.
you say most profound, like, I don't know, most something that's stuck, like, not profound necessarily, but something that just, like, hit you, and was like,
It could be something that hit you, or it could be something that in the moment you heard, but then a couple years later you're like, that makes a lot of sense.
I'm going to say the stupidest thing I've ever said in my life, but Sandusky.
What
All
was
right,
what was the
we're
quote?
done here.
What? No. I said, you never get mad. Right? And I was like, it's so weird to me because, you always got mad.
Yeah, I got
and
anger
frustrated.
issues.
Yeah. I was like, how do you, what do you do? Like, how do you, and he said, there's just no point. And like at the time, I'm like, what do you mean? But like, a few years down the road, I'm like, there really is no point to getting that level of anger over something like that.
Yeah.
Because he does farm work. Can't do anything about it. When crap hits the fan at a farm, there's really nothing you can do in that moment but, sit back, relax, think about it, plan it out. So to be able to just say there's no point, and at such a young age,
Oh yeah.
at
yeah.
such a young age, and the level of work he was doing.
Oh, he was doing nuttery amounts. He still does nuttery
Yeah,
amounts
I
of
know,
work.
but just to be able to, at the age he was, what was he, 24, 25?
I mean, younger than that probably.
Just to be able to say that.
But I mean, that's looking back at my life, because like I've had anger issues my whole life. But like at certain points in my life, I would get so mad that I would black out, and like my body and mind would keep going. But like I've woke up like beating some of my best friends' heads into the bleachers with them having like seizures and crap. So like I
Totally.
Real.
I try to let my oh my
Good job.
gosh, that is 20 episodes in.
Yep.
We've got to queue up a laugh track or something.
Mm-hmm.
But like looking back,
Okay, buddy.
so like I learned to channel my anger to inanimate objects. But like now looking back, I realized that like just because I wasn't mad at the people around me, that doesn't mean they didn't understand that. I think my kids, for the most part, my wife never understood it. I think my oldest and my son at least did.
So this is what I told Mom. I can't remember who I was talking to.
That's kind of sad. You been eating my gummies?
But they were like, how do you deal with it when Dad gets so angry or something, right? I said, and I quote, I just don't care about his problems.
I mean, that's sad.
It's not my problem. If he's
But,
mad,
like-
how is that my problem?
But you worked with me enough, and you're also a man. Like that makes a big difference in like understanding another man. But like you've seen me literally melt down and scream at something, and then shake my shoulders and be like, okay, we're gonna fix it now.
That's a more recent thing, though.
Yes,
That's
but
very more
yeah.
recent. I think the last.
now I'm trying to learn how to not even get to the screaming.
I think it was the flex. I can't. I think we were doing the brakes or something. We were doing something that was difficult.
Every
that's
darn thing on that car was
The
different.
last time like you actually got mad while working on something.
I've gotten to the point now, and
Not like
years ago, your grandfather, like
You're
you
also
never knew granddaddy as daddy. Okay,
Yeah,
you knew
that's 'cause-
you
that's
knew
'cause he was my
granddaddy.
granddad.
I knew
not my
Randy.
daddy.
And like, so like that was what I grew up with. You get mad at whatever you're working on. You don't get mad at people,
Oh,
and
this
like
is all you.
you do your thing. But at one point, working in the shop with him, he looked at me because I was getting furious with something, and he was like, "Andrew, calm down, son. Ain't no reason to get mad. It'll get fixed." And like I was,
All you had to do was leave. He could have done it in 30 minutes.
but he won't. Dadgummit, one of my earliest memories of him was like the lawnmower, the push lawnmower wasn't working, right? And I used to push mow like 90% of that place. Not the field, just the pond, just what they mow, not the stinking field. Heck no, I ain't push mowing all that. But like it wasn't
Still.
starting,
Ugh.
and I'm like, the push mower's broke. Like I need some help fixing it. And he's like, well, you see if you can fix it, and then come back and get me if you can't. And I'm like, okay. So I just went out there and took that sucker apart. I'm talking about engine blades. I had it like all just sitting in a pile. And then I went and got him, and I was like, now it's more broke. And so he come out there and he helped me fix it. Like sometimes as a kid, he was a phenomenal father, and then sometimes he was not. But he was like bipolar manic depressant. And then I don't know whether medication, I don't think it was medication in his later years, or just learning how to, because like medication is useful for certain aspects of your life. Like if you've got a mental issue or something, medication can help you relearn. I think you could, if I phrase this right, Tasia, because this would be what helps us. It helps you realize what it is like to not be chaotic in your head. And even
That's
once
how my ADD medication works.
yeah, but like once you understood how noiseless it could be, even when you're out of it or you miss it, you have a lot better command and control over yourself because you know that it is possible. And so
Yeah.
I think a lot of times there's some illnesses you need to be on medication for the rest of your life. But then there are some that the medication is not necessarily a permanent thing, because like there's a lot of people that are anxious and don't want to try it, or they're weak, or their pride won't let them try medication. But like, you may need it for a period of your life. You may need to be able to show yourself that what it's like to be calm and stuff like
See,
that.
none of that makes sense to me. So at my work, there's these 3 boys who just been like coming to volunteer. That's it. Their mom drops them off, they come to volunteer.
Are they working?
But like, they say it weird. They act suspicious, you know?
Don't be suspicious.
Don't be
Right,
suspicious.
but one of them came up to me, he's like, "Are you a stoner?"
Should have said yes.
I was like, "Yeah, 100%."
It's because your mom was a vegetarian when
But
y'all were pregnant.
everybody says I act high 90% of the time.
I could
You
see
do.
it.
I've considered drug testing you before.
I have.
But-
Angel does
He's- I
too
think he's
sometimes.
chill.
Sometimes Angel is just, you're like, child, or like, what planet are you on right now?
And my eyes will get bloodshot sometimes. But what I tell people,
I'm just naturally high on life, man.
no,
He puts his
no,
sunglasses
but when,
on.
like the part like making your brain calm, I don't get that because I can just like literally think about nothing.
But think about this. You have also, even though we were chaotic, right? And I wasn't the best father at all. We have never let y'all, I've tried to never let y'all have your emotions just run roughshod over you. We have always, even from early childhood, taught you guys that you can control yourself and you cannot allow your emotions to control your actions. So, like, even though we weren't the best of parents, we at least tried to teach you that your actions are your responsibility. I'm a screw up doesn't mean you have to be.
I don't know. I have some emotional problems now with my emotions, but
Well, that's because
Weirdo.
I also didn't.
what?
Said weirdo.
Yeah.
No, like if
I
don't
didn't know how to convey them to you because at that point in
like
my life,
you know
I had
how like
all mine
mom
shut
puts
off.
her barrier up,
Yeah.
I just like turn them off
That you get from your father.
when I'm getting too emotional.
Yeah.
Or like something
but-
hurts, I just flick them off, and I can turn them off
You have to be careful with that.
for
What happened, Malachi? Tell us your secret.
when my granddad died.
Oh, okay, we're talking
I
about that.
flicked them right off, and it took me until that time I freaked out at my sisters to
Yeah.
really.
But see, what you got to understand is I did that for 30 years.
yeah,
no.
I didn't do it for that long. It was
The-
only like 6 months.
Should have gone
But
further.
I did that with every tragedy, every death, everything in my life. I just shut all my emotions off because they were illogical to me, and logic is my main basis for my entire world. So I just killed them all, but I didn't realize that I needed to cut them back on and process them. I just let them stack.
I didn't even cut them on. I remember exactly whenever like
Yours cut their cell phone.
when you get to a popping point, like you're just so mad.
Like
For,
a
Yeah,
ticking
that's when I start
point?
chuckling and black out.
what happened was I had one pair of shorts, and Allie and Tess were fighting over some pair of sweatpants, and for some reason,
Oh, yeah, I remember
it
that.
just made my skin boil. I was so mad. I just yelled at both of them. I was like, "Y'all are ungrateful little brats. You both have more pants than I've ever had. Put the darn pants on and shut up. It doesn't matter." And then that one said I overreacted.
You unleashed some emotion.
That one said I overreacted.
I mean, I honestly think they needed that.
And so I went outside, and then I talked with my big sis, and she said, "Start just calling me when you need to talk instead of burying it." And I was like,
Maybe.
It's hard. People don't. It's not only hard because society is very hush hush. There's a whole lot of families that are like, don't talk about your secrets, or don't let anything shameful out, hide everything, blah blah blah. But there's a whole lot of, especially for the men in today's culture, of being told that you're supposed to be in touch with your feelings and all this stuff, but then the second you have feelings, they're turned and used against you.
yeah.
So like there's this, being told that in like, a lot of the society of like how men are treated, like even growing up, you're held to a higher standard because you're a man, but then you're also told that you're trash and everything's wrong with you because you're a man. And like it's this, it's a failure on society and like all men in society to teach the next generation of men how to be men. And like the problem with like the example of what the toxic masculinity and all that has become is it started out as what, truly toxic men were. Rapists, sexual predators, stuff like that. And then it slowly started drifting over to where more and more and more and more and more stuff was considered a controlling toxic man. Like I've read forums to where a woman will post and be like, I was going to go to the club with my guy friends that I've been really close to with for years, and my boyfriend doesn't want me to go with them without him because I used to date one of them. He's controlling. And it's like, no, your boyfriend don't want you to go out and get drunk and shag other men. That should be natural when you're in a relationship with somebody.
I think that once you get to a relationship, you shouldn't go out anymore. Bars, nothing.
If you're together,
well, yeah, that's fine.
That's
Bars,
fine.
But not even a club together. No,
yeah,
that's weird.
That's I mean,
weird.
like I know some couples that have done it and they're fine.
But it's weird.
But the thing that blows my mind is if you think about all your girlfriends and all your guy friends, right, that you have. If the girl was to approach the guy and be like, I don't like your friend, she's getting too close to you. Every single person she contacted about that situation, if he was like, well, I'm not getting rid of her, she's just a friend, would be telling her to dump him, he's terrible, this, that, and the other. Reverse it. You need to get rid of him because I don't trust him, to his girlfriend.
Well, see, I think the
girls would be on her side. Most of the guys would be on her side.
The guy best friend has been twisted a lot. Because
that's also true. Yeah.
Because like I think it's completely fine to be best friends with a female.
The reason that is okay, but the reason it becomes dangerous in a relationship is because I don't want to say that phrase because that might be considered explicit.
So
a shoulder to cry on is cock to ride on.
Yeah,
and that's the truth. And what happens is you have this guy best friend. Relationships are difficult. Living with someone every day is difficult. And if both of you aren't excellent communicators or constantly committed to bettering themselves and getting closer, what happens is you get those periods of strife. And in a marriage and a relationship, that periods of strife usually goes away with several things: emotional intimacy, physical intimacy, and just genuine closeness, feeling together. And you have this best friend who's the opposite sex, more than likely is going to be that safe place for you. They're going to allow you and show you that emotional connection that you need, and that emotional connection very quickly turns to a physical connection. That is why best friends that are of the opposite sex, that are not your spouses.
Well, I'm not talking about in a spouse situation.
Even in a dating situation, if you are seriously dating, your friend should be who you're dating. But the problem is,
so you can't have any other friends?
no, Malachi, you cannot have a single.
No, you can have friends, but
like I agree. I don't think you should be best friends.
But you shouldn't go. In my opinion, you shouldn't go meet, like you as a man. Even if you're dating a girl, you shouldn't go meet another girl that you are friends with alone for dinner or going out to a movies or anything like that.
Start, assumptions happen.
Yeah,
you shouldn't. I think it's
smart on your part to just not put yourself in the rumor mill.
There's a boundary. So if you have a female friend and you're dating someone, you have to say, hey, we don't go out with each other unless my girlfriend's with us.
Yeah.
if you have a boyfriend, we don't go. There's just rules you make for that.
But the problem is the rules are skewed in both ways, but then there's a lot of people that don't understand the rules, and it's considered, wrong and this and that and the other. But it's the aspect of
we
protect
don't go
yourself.
out unless our whole group's together.
Yeah, you protect yourself. If you don't want to be accused of something or you don't want anything to happen. I've been married to my wife for 22, almost 23 years, and I have always, because I used to be a heavy partier. And she wouldn't be there a lot of times. She'd be at home. She didn't like to drink and party. But I always made sure that I was surrounded by men. I was never alone with a woman. And I did steps to make sure there was constant 15 eyes on me when I was at places. Because I never wanted the ability for someone to accuse me of something that I didn't do. Also, I didn't want to put myself in a situation to do something I didn't want to do. If you don't want to cheat on your spouse, don't give yourself the opportunity.
Yeah.
Because they're like, well, it was just a friend from work and we started having lunch once a week. You started having lunch together, alone, once a week. Yes, it was innocent when it started. You were just friends. But I guarantee you that's probably how the relationship between you and your wife started. Mm-hmm. That's how romantic relationships start if you look back at your own history. So, you see these little innocent things that you think, if you don't guard yourself against that, you will fail. And it's not that you're weak or stupid. It's just that minor things are important, and a lot of us aren't taught that.
How wrong.
Is that your new cheer?
I just think you need to be careful. And you especially, I don't know,
And if you have complaints, you shouldn't take it to that friend
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah. If you're in a relationship and you have
You
a
can
problem
go to
with
a
somebody, go
peer.
to them.
That is your same sex, but if you're going to an opposite sex friend and you're constantly complaining about who you're with, that's going to turn your feelings and their feelings. Like you can't be a friend group if you have turned them against who you're with.
you can't. I don't think you should complain about your spouse, partner with anyone but them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Or
I mean,
like
I
a
guess
counselor
a
sometimes,
counselor, you
or-
could go to your parent.
And
Your child.
Because you could go
to your parent if you trust your
if
parent.
I went to mom, she'd
Your
probably turn
child.
against them. But if I went
Not
to
your
you,
child. Not
you
your
would logic it
Why
out.
not?
Yeah, I would
because-
logic it out.
Think about it. If I go to Malachi and I start talking bad about Andrew, that's not good. That
Oh,
doesn't,
he's gonna protect his mama, and he's gonna f me up. Is what's gonna happen.
yeah, you should.
All my children, if anything bad goes down, it turns into a roast daddy session.
It's like at work when you have
Heck yeah.
issues, you should go above you, not below you, because if you go below you, you're just being a gossip and a rumor.
Unless
starter
the
and
issue is the person below you.
well, you can go to that person.
If you have a
yes.
bad employee, go to them.
Well, no,
that's. But
she's
I'm
talking
saying
about
if you're,
for a management problem
Yeah.
or some problem that below you can't fix.
yes,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
But see, that also can backfire sometimes. Because when employees would come to me with something and be like, I'd be like, okay, what's your solution? And they'd be like, well, I would try this. And I'm like, okay, who are we going to find to do it? I'm like, congratulations, you just volunteered.
Yes, but you were above those people. They were doing the right going to management
Hear
process.
me out.
I'm
Bury
just
your
saying,
emotions.
if you go
Don't
with
talk to anybody. Push it down.
what's that?
Feel, don't feel.
That was it.
I
That's
like what he says.
yeah. Freeze it, Elsa.
I like what this guy says.
The problem with that is,
I like how for 2026.
if think about this, Dylan. You got pressure tanks, right? The paintball little pressure tanks hold what, 6,000-7,000 psi or something like that, and then you got a regular air compressor tank. Okay. Have you ever seen one of them explode?
Nope.
Okay. It's the same size container, whether it's got 0 pounds of pressure in it or 10,000 pounds of pressure in it. Same size container, but it matters how much you cram in it. So with burying your emotions, eventually you will reach the breaking point of your container.
Unless
And you
have,
never know when that
an
is.
unlimited container.
Nobody has an unlimited container.
Or-
Eventually that sucker's going to crack.
Or that tank just cracks when you're accidentally on your 1000cc motorcycle. And then you just, and you get that throttle therapy. And then your tank's empty.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Well, see, that's if you know how to empty your tank healthily.
Yeah, right into a tree.
Mm-hmm.
No,
At
no.
100, at 200 miles an hour.
That's how you empty your soul from your body. That is something I've always been curious about because I haven't died yet. But like,
Bro said, "Yeah."
oh, I'm dying one day. What?
She said, "Wrap it up." She wants to go
You
back to
got
sleep.
5 more minutes.
Oh, okay.
She wants
need
to
a
go
piss,
back
too.
to sleep. So hurry up.
Completely forgot what I was talking about.
Nah.
She done gang signed me to stupidity. That's witchcraft. That's witchcraft is what she's doing.
Witches aren't real.
Dude, that's it. All
Witches
gangs are
aren't
now warlocks.
Witches aren't real.
Witches are real. There's a bunch of them out there.
Then kill me
Why?
No.
because they can't do it.
Can't do what? Witches?
They can't kill me.
Oh my gosh. Dude, if you start seeing spirit people in your bedroom, let me know. We'll have to figure
Spirit
some
in
stuff
the
out.
No. They have to kill me.
Dude, Dylan,
That's the only thing.
we found a house in Georgia, right? Or not
Mhm.
Georgia, Florida. This thing, how old was it?
It was built in the 1800s.
1800s.
Dang.
7-bedroom,
I said, "Dang."
right?
One of the, was it a president's wife had stayed
Yeah,
there?
it's like guess how much?
I think I know.
Re-
what- I
like
think I know what you're
residential
talking about.
house.
Mhm.
So you're thinking really expensive, right?
2,500.
What? For a house?
25,000. I meant.
For a house?
For a house?
He said, "I'm thinking."
He went
more
back
for-
to the 1800s for when it was built. No, we're talking about
$2.
No.
around here. If you get a 7-bedroom house with a full wraparound porch that is historical and has 2 acres, what are you going to pay?
10 million.
Well, not like that, but it's going to be $1 million.
1.5.
Yeah, it's going to be $1 million or
And if
800,000.
it's got
400,000.
land, more.
400,000.
This place
But-
had 2 acres.
The podcast will be a lot further from you, so you'd have to
Yeah.
move to Florida.
But it's got a little
Screw
shack.
you. I'm not moving to Florida.
It's got a little shack. It's right there by the ocean, bro.
Exactly.
He hates the ocean.
I
He's
don't
like,
like the
"Oh,
ocean."
It's just a big salty bastard of a lake is all it is. It's like if you took a lake and you made it churn a lot and have too much salt to be in. And then you gave it depth with creatures that they still haven't discovered.
We'd make your
fun.
your spine crooked, and we'd like you could be the Hunchback of Notre
I could
Dame.
be the serial killer of Florida. I got this, guys. Let's
It can-
go.
There's been a few.
Okay, you got to move to
Do it
Florida,
again.
and we'll help you. But like,
We
you'll
are not
become.
helping
Y'all can be
him.
my alibi.
He's going to become the Tennessee man versus Florida man headline. Tennessee
Dylan
man
picks-
in Florida meets Florida man on corner, and then everybody's going to. Because if you see Florida man or Florida woman in a headline, you can be scrolling like this. If you hear those words or see those words, your eyes picks up instantly, and you're like, "This is going to be good."
What's the one?
But Tennessee man is also a famous one in several instances. So like, we got to have the redneck battles.
I can do it. Let's
Dylan
do
could
it.
be the next Florida man, but Tennessee man in Florida.
Tennessee man, I got this, guys.
He does.
Tennessee man tries to fight shark in the sand.
Dies.
Sand shark.
dies
The
from
beginning.
dies from dog bite.
Have y'all ever seen the movie clip of like Sharknado, where they're on the beach with the lasers blasting the sharks, and it's just overlaid with just simple text, but it's like at one point somebody thought this script would make an actually good movie. Like what? And it's like what producer thought? I'll give you the money. Because there's some movies that get made, like La Vantula.
Sharknado was stupid.
Yeah, but like La Vantula was even dumber.
I
Never
watched that
seen
one.
either of them.
Terror Birds, we cut off. It was so retarded. Dinosaur Hotel, we cut off because it was so retarded.
I don't even know why y'all turned that on. The CGI was so.
Oh,
bad.
it was hilarious though. A woman gets eaten by a T-Rex like first 30 seconds, but it's like claymation anime
the
T-Rex.
it's so the
Levantula?
the
I wanna watch
Velociraptors
the,
or
Oh.
whatever.
Velocipaster. I think it's supposed to be.
Velocipaster. I've heard that one was actually pretty funny.
Because it looks stupid. I just want to see how good it is.
You should watch The Serpent and the Rainbow.
No.
What?
That's not a scary movie. Or no, it's not a comedy. It's a good scary movie. Dude goes down to Haiti, gets involved with witch doctors and zombies and all that. Yeah, very good movie.
I want to watch. What's that one show I heard about?
Yeah, I don't know. You tell me. You heard about
Hereditary. I think that's what it's called.
Hereditary.
it. I've heard of that. I've heard the word hereditary before, so
Yeah,
I've probably heard
I
of
hope
it.
you would have heard the Hereditary.
You've heard of Hereditary?
It's an Oddity. I want to watch Oddity too.
I've heard things can be
I don't know
hereditary.
about that one. There's a new horror movie coming out with crap. What's that dude's name?
Willem Dafoe.
Pete Davis.
Oh.
That
So
looks.
it's gonna be a comedy horror.
No, look, watch the preview. Like, it's a new horror movie with Pete Davis. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but like I watched the preview and I was like, I seen Pete Davis, immediately. I'm like, this is gonna be funny. And then at the end of the preview, I'm like, that's not gonna be funny. That's gonna be good, man. That's like the
You
stinking
mean Pete Davidson?
Pete Davidson. Yeah, it's close enough. It's like when people call me Cunning.
Really, I get called Cummingham a lot.
Cummingham.
The Home?
The Home. Yeah, watch the trailer for The Home. It looked pretty trippy.
Ballerina came out.
Yeah, I went and saw it last night.
It did?
Yeah.
Where do you think I went last night?
Well, you didn't invite me.
I did too.
You didn't
you
invite
didn't.
me.
I said I'm
either.
going to the movies tonight. You want to go? You said no.
You didn't.
You didn't
Mama.
invite. Y'all not,
He didn't invite me last night.
It was at 10 o'clock.
I would have came out.
He didn't invite me. I'm so serious. This is the one time he did not invite me.
Oh, well, I just probably didn't invite you because it's the one time you probably wanted to go out of the last 100 you've said no.
If I didn't have to be up by 6 tomorrow, I'd watch it tonight.
Bro, you'll sit in there and play video games till 2 o'clock in the morning.
Not anymore.
So
I can't.
Can't
Video
do it.
games just aren't like.
They lose their appeal after a while.
I'm forcing myself to play the Dark Souls series so I can.
The reward.
Did the game come out yet?
Okay.
The 3-player one.
Yeah, but it's not crossplay.
That's the gayest.
Not yet.
stupidest thing.
Hopefully they fix that.
Should we kill everyone with Dark Souls?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
My phone is on silent.
I said that wasn't me.
That's an iPhone, bro. It does what it wants.
Oh, now it's on silent. That's
And
my
if you
bad.
tell Siri she's stupid while driving, she will reroute
I
you.
figured out what I did. I made it where all my like text message notifications are always vibrate.
Hmm.
So I don't even have to change that. But when Instagram comes through, it's not. So I have to put it on silent.
All right.
I can't figure out how to turn the stupid beep beep boop 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 when you freaking type. I hate that. It's the most annoying
I don't
thing.
know.
It's in the sounds.
Or the who whenever it sends. I hate that noise. And I hate I already turned off the like whenever you turn your phone off.
You're talking about-
stupidest sound.
You've already talked about 20 things you do not like about
but
the phone.
I can turn them off.
Yeah, but that's like people are like,
My-
Glocks
that-
are really good guns. All you got to do is put a custom trigger on them, a custom barrel, do this to the slide, do that, and you're like, that's not a really good
No,
gun.
because my Moto, I had to turn all that off.
Dude, that's a crappy phone. If it's under $200, I don't expect it to be fancy.
Yours still makes that stinking noise.
I don't give a piss what mine does.
I don't think mine makes a noise.
Your first notification sound was the most horrendous ear rape thing ever. Can't even remember what it was, but it was terrible.
He doesn't even know.
It was bad.
He can't reproduce the noise, so it never happened.
Dang.
Why'd you change it? Because it was bad.
Yeah, I don't like a lot of the tones. And I like all my tones being different.
You know what I miss? The old Discord notification.
Yeah.
So much.
I miss.
Why did they get rid of that?
Because they're stupid.
I
The-
used
what
to
was
have,
it like? But
We're gonna have to start paying for it most likely.
for Discord
Yeah.
on console,
And if you have Discord, probably you're probably gonna have to get
the
premium to
Nitro
do
or
something.
whatever. There's no way. Who came up with that?
Well, they sold it to somebody, and that person's apparently changing a lot of stuff. I don't know.
Well,
I could be wrong.
we could
Did
just
y'all
go
ever
kill
play
that
Metal
guy.
Gear?
I did. I played solid. One of the solids all the way through.
That's an Xbox exclusive, ain't it?
No. And I
think
played
it's
it on
PlayStation.
PS3 and I
You
played
played Snake Eater too, didn't you?
no. I played Solid 3 or 2 and then I played Metal Gear. What was that one called? The whole goal was to save this one girl,
Oh,
right? And the whole time, I mean, me and Vaden played for 5 hours completing this whole game. We spent 3 out of the 5 hours him trying to figure out what to do this the last mission because he kept killing the girl. He would see her and he'd just shoot her. And it's like, stop.
yeah.
Yeah,
but
it
see,
was
that when he bends down and he gets the call from the people, like the bloop bloop bloop. I used to have that on my phone, and I don't have it anymore. That was my favorite, like message sound.
I can see that.
especially if you squat in public like he does, because it doesn't matter where he's at. He gets a call. He squats down like he's hidden. He'd be like in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, if you do that like in Walmart, you can look around real quick and see everybody who's played Metal Gear. And it gets fewer and fewer every time you do it.
I never played it, so yeah.
Yeah. You suck.
It's a very
I was more into COD, Halo, Minecraft.
Halo was good,
No,
That was good.
loved Halo.
but I don't know the fighting style is different in Halo and
Well, with Metal Gear, they're just so like immersive as a game, like
Metal Gear
without
was
being
very
open world.
realistic.
Yeah, because like if you blow up their weapons caches, like they start running out of bullets later on in the game. If you blow up all their medical supplies, they're sick and coughing and like throwing up. If you kill all their food caches and like blow all them up later on in the game, they're walking around and starving. You can go cut mushrooms in the woods and toss them to them, and like they'll eat them because they're starving and hungry, and then they'll get sick. Like there's so much stuff that you can shoot the ketchup bottles and watermelons and crap off the.
I wish that I would have played some of the ones with Raiden as the main. Because like what really got me like
Was
that
it
it?
Guns of the Patriots that you played, or was it the one where you were on the island?
no, he still had black hair in that game. He wasn't that old.
There's a bunch of them.
The solid one, he has gray hair because he's older. But the one where you're finding the girl, he had black hair. He was still young. Anyway, what was I saying? What really just like piqued my video game interest is when I saw Raiden get both his arms chopped off
And grabbed the sword in his mouth.
and grab the sword in his mouth and just like start going insane. And then, he like throws it in the air and he puts his foot out and his high heel clamps his freaking sword and he just starts killing everybody. That really just was like, that was the moment I was like, dang.
I was like, that's the game. That's the one.
No, I never even played any more Metal Gear. It was just like, I got to get into video games. And then I played all the Halos on 360 till 4. And 5 is just terrible. It's so bad. I played like I played like a quarter of the campaign on my uncle's Xbox. And it's just, you're not even playing Master Chief. You're playing some weird dude.
Noble 6.
Yeah, and it's not even cool. And then they came out with Infant, and they're like, hey, guess what? You don't get crossplay.
I don't know. I like Noble 6 though.
And in 5, they were like, guess what? You want our best game mode, multiplayer split screen? Yeah, you don't get that either.
I don't think I played past 3 or 4.
I played the 4,
Noble 6 was cool.
and I really liked 2's campaign was really good. The guns in 3 were incredible because that's when you got all the lava guns. So you didn't even play Class 2 then. In 3, you get lava guns, and it carries into 4. But like lava type guns, lava type bazookas,
So they went like full Doom.
and it was
See,
great.
I played Halo, but I never like played Halo. You know what I mean?
Those are the
No?
campaigns that actually
Oh,
got me.
fair enough.
You writing your next song lyrics?
I don't
No, I
know.
like Doom.
I spent
Doom
a
was cool.
lot of time playing Halo.
Yeah. See, I enjoyed the campaigns of Halo.
Yeah, they had good. See, and COD can't make good campaigns anymore. That's another thing. No game really makes good.
That's because that's
campaigns.
not the focus anymore. The online play and the keeping people with the subscriptions and the keeping games that keep people online is their focus now. Not entertaining you and having a game that you want to buy and sit down in your living room and enjoy and immerse yourself in.
I like online games. Like I'm not hating.
But
on that.
that's become the full focus because that's where the money's
But
at.
man, Last of Us, such a good story. Just such an incredible, immersive story. Both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Ghost of Tsushima was very good at
I
that.
cannot wait to Ghost of Yotei, bro. It's almost out. October or November, either one.
All right, guys.
Well,
That's why I like the Dark Souls series. I'll
it's
leave it at
time to
that.
wrap this up.
Yeah.
Wrap it up like SpaghettiOs on toast.
Yeah.
What the?
And with that,
Wrap
like,
your bacon in-
subscribe.
Damn.
It's just a disgusting image to think about.
And I hope you
Oh, yeah.
enjoyed.
Enjoy.